Greetings, everybody. This is Ellen Red. For those of you that are new to my channel, I'm a psychic medium, a channeler, a trans channeler, a starseed, an ascension coach, and a twin flame guide. And I'm coming on today to talk a little bit about the predator aliens and an experience that I had yesterday. And I just wanted to go into detail and try to explain it to people. I know there's people on this channel that didn't see my writing, and there's people on this channel that aren't on my TikTok. So I try to, share it in all the different groups to get this information out to you guys. If you're not following me on TikTok, you should, because sometimes I don't put stuff here that I put there. And if you're not on Facebook following Psychic Ellen Red, I would strongly recommend that you do that, because I share a lot of writings there. And also I run the group in the page Twin Flame Initiates. So I teach on twin flames and a lot of other metaphysical topics. And today we're going to talk basically about predator aliens, and basically what they are is they're demons. And you could consider them demons. They do possess people. They can possess people. And so I'm going to go into that a little bit today. I have some notes here. So if you see me looking down, it's because I just don't want to forget everything that I'm going to try to relay today in this message. Okay. So anyhow, first I'm going to tell you about my evening yesterday, and then I'm going to tell you about these beings a little bit more. So actually I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to tell you about some other experiences. So I've been dealing a lot in the lightworker community with a little bit of conflict in terms of noticing that there's a lot of beings there that are talking the light language. They're using a lot of new age isms, if you will, and they're speaking a lot, using the words or the terms. You've seen me talk about this in videos before, where they're using words and terms that light workers and people in the spiritual community are all familiar with, but their energy is not right, and the way that they're using them is totally a distortion. And it's very unfortunate because, it causes so much confusion to the masses, and it creates a lot of, it's just making more matrix for people. And so I've talked about this time and time and time again. And I know, I've also talked and written about a lot of other subjects related to how these predator aliens use humans as hosts. And then they work through those humans. Now, some of the beings that are on this planet that are in human form aren't even really human either. So this can be happening from either angle. It's either one that's not a human, or it's one that's a human that's being used as a host. And so speeding up to yesterday, again, I was falling asleep, and as I was, my guides came to me and they took me off planet into a corridor in the astral realms. And in this corridor, I saw a whole group of beings. I saw a whole bunch of beautiful star seeds and light worker souls there. And then I saw this whole group of really kind of cringy beings that looked like moths or moth type aliens. And the little disclosure here, as I go into this, I want you to understand moths in the physical world, in the human world, are really sacred beings. They're sacred creatures. And so I really don't want anybody on here to confuse the two and then use that as a reason to harm the moths that are on the earth plane, because that's definitely not the message that I want to send you. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to put that out there. And so these beings are actually negative ETs. They are, they're called the dragon moths, and they're part of they're dragon moth Omicron. They're basically part of the draconian constellation, if you will. They're part of the negative aliens. And what they were doing last night is they were harvesting the life force and the soul energy of light beings. And at the same time that they were doing that, I could see that they were also trying to act like they were part of that mix. It was kind of like they were feeding on them and putting on their clothes and pretending that they were them. And then I was shown one in particular that got really close to me, and he was the biggest one. It was like he was their leader, and he had a really big head with a white looking face, and he had teeth kind of sticking out of the face, and he was trying to harvest, and I could feel that he was trying to harvest my sacral chakra and also my creator mother goddess energy through my womb. And so my guides alerted me to this, and we corrected it and combated them. This happens quite a lot to all of us, no matter how advanced we are, because we are combating dark forces. And so another little disclosure is, and I'm just going to insert this here, it's not part of the story, but I'm just going to put this out here for you guys, because after I shared this writing, I had a woman come to me and say, oh, well, I never have this happen to me because I'm so protected from the creator source. And I just want to, that is so inaccurate in terms of ascension, because really the truth is those that aren't seeing this in the astral is because they haven't learned how to go through the astral layers. And if you haven't done that, you're not in a very high level of ascension. That's not a sign of you being more protected by source creator. Being able to see these entities and combat them is a sign of your evolution. It shouldn't be something that you are pretending that you are, some way more protected than somebody else. You're just simply not seeing it. And the fact that you're not seeing it probably makes you suspect to being harvested by them. So I'm sorry, but I'm putting that out there because the truth is that ascension is going to cause people to need to learn to understand what's going on in the other layers and other dimensions as you continue to evolve in your journey. So now that I've put that out there, I'm going to go back to this. So as I was seeing them and seeing that they were harvesting people, this one particular one showed up with me, and I had to deal with that and clear it. And I was able to bind him and clear that energy from me. And also then I was used to help clear the energies of the soul beings that were being harvested without their knowing. When I'm talking about this in the astral realm, what's really happening there, the humans in their physical 3D world are unaware of what's really going on, even to them. So I get used oftentimes to come in and do clearings like that and to work with energies, whether it be souls that have passed over that don't know how to get home to the light, or whether it be, in this case, a lot of entities that get harvested in the astral realms. And so that's what I was shown. Now, after I was shown that, I asked my guides to explain to me why they were doing that and what they were trying to do. And I learned a whole lot of other things. So first, I want to go a little more into these energies. Well, actually, I'll tell you what the guides told me as far as why they were doing this. And I was shown that what they're doing is they're using humans. So these are beings in the astral realm. They're harvesting, and some of them are living in human skin. So they're actually ETs in that human body that are negative. And some of them are humans that are being harvested without realizing it. And what they're doing is they're going in the light worker and spiritual community. They're going all over the globe, all over the planet, and they are posing as Christos beings. They are not part of the original Christos founder races like I am, and many others are. They are actually not part of that. They're trying to pose that they are Christos beings, and they're not, and they never have been, and they never will be. And they don't come from that lineage, and therefore they're never going to be that, no matter what. And it doesn't mean that they're also not beings that belong to the prime creator. The prime creator is, the creator of all that is. But these are not Christos beings. They are negative aliens. They are demons. Okay. And essentially what they're doing in the physical world is they are posing as wayshowers. They are posing, they're false prophets. This was talked about all throughout history for humanity, and many were warned about these. But now that we're going through the Great Awakening and we have the internet and everybody's sharing all this information, these guys are feeding on it. They're harvesting it. They're eating it up. They're loving it, and they're posing as wayshowers, and they're getting tons of followers to follow them. Only they're mimicking the language, they're copycatting the words, they're trying to learn these ascension codes for the wrong reasons, and they're misusing them really horrendously. And I know I've talked about this before, but I'm telling you, it's an issue that is really really creating even more matrix. Okay, this is part of the false light matrix, because these beings are they're not in the light, they're false light. Okay, so they are posing as wayshowers. They are harvesting and harnessing, the language, the ascension language. They're pretending that they're teachers. They are literally copying like artwork, copying writings and sharing it into the community and posing like it's their writings. They are taking art and posing like it's theirs. And then if you try to call them out on it, what they do is they get really aggressive, and they start misusing the language of light by saying that, everything comes from the source and it belongs to everyone. And in certain ways, that's kind of true, except that each soul is a creator soul. And so it's not true that you can just come to someone and harvest their belongings. So if you are tilling a garden and you harvest a whole bunch of vegetables at the end of the year, that would be like them coming and taking it and harvesting it, even if you were going to give that to the village. It's your domain, and it's, you are given domain over your gifts because you earned them and you were given them through source creator. And many people have had multiple lives where they've been working as writers or musicians or artists or whatever it is. And so when they come and they finally become self-actualized and bring forth their gifts, those gifts are meant to be shared, but they're meant to be shared by the creator. It's for them to be able to choose between them and the divine how they're going to share that into the community, and it is their domain. These entities are coming in and they're harvesting those, and what's happening is it's hooking onto the low chakra right below the second chakra, in between the first and second, and it's hooking into their womb. And by the way, masculines have a womb because you're masculine and feminine, so it's hooking onto the feminine essence or the womb essence, which is the creator essence of that soul. So it's actually harnessing your light and hooking onto your soul body. And so as light workers, we are all sharing information and sharing memes and sharing, what we're writing and what we're videos we're making and things like that. But the difference is sharing your gift versus someone else taking your gift and sharing it as if it's their own gift. And it is creating this kind of illusory world for everyone, where now they're looking like they're in the light, they're really not in the light, and they're not just using their own gift because they're not truly in the light. And this is harnessing and harvesting souls in the astral plane. So it's actually a no-no. It's a violation of spiritual law, because you're not supposed to steal. Thou shalt not steal. And that includes, somebody's energy. And that is your energy, whether you write a song or you create a picture or whatever. And a lot of times people will make a picture and they'll share it online, and it's okay if you share it. It's kind of like this, you're understanding that when they share it, you hit the share button. And generally we like to give the person credit if we know who it is, as far as artists or writers or singers. And so this isn't meant to shame anybody that's done that and doesn't know who the creator was. Everybody's done that. This is a little bit different in it, and it's more because it's intentionally harvesting that soul energy. That's one thing that they showed me. And so now that that's out there, I'm going to take a little breath and we'll go on to a little deeper information. So these beings, they are very well known to be very aggressive and violent. They are generally connected to wars and war type scenarios, and so their whole business on the earth, or their whole design, really why they're here and what they want, is to keep that war going. It's how they feed and fuel their selves, and that's really what they're good for. And so what they're trying to do right now is they're still trying to fuel that World War III, if you will. They're trying to fuel that, but that World War III is a spiritual war in certain ways as well. And so they're very well aware of the spiritual warfare that is going on at this time, especially in the spiritual community. And so they are weaponizing the ascension codes. They're weaponizing it. That's what they're doing. They're taking the language and they're warping it, and they're using it basically as a weapon to work against the true wayshowers, to work against those who are truly in the Christos. So this is a really, enlightening experience, if you want to call it that. And it's really important for the spiritual community now to become more aware of these types of beings. So they look human. They're saying almost everything that they say is the same as other wayshowers, except one will say, oh, they'll steal someone's writing and share it. And then on the other hand, they're actually bashing people that are Pleiadians, or bashing channelers, or bashing mediums, or bashing wayshowers, et cetera, et cetera. So they're literally like acting like they're in the light, but then on the other hand, they're bashing it. They're saying, get a real job instead of doing this. Well, souls that are stepping into their true Dharma, their real job is to do the soul work that we're doing to help humanity. And so that is working for God, and that is what we're doing. We're not in the matrix anymore. So that's a big red flag for you to watch how they're treating other beings. And if they are justifying taking somebody else's work or taking somebody else's creation from them and posing it as their own, and they're justifying that, should be a red flag for you. That is definitely not in alignment with Source. Source bestows gifts upon each soul, and those souls work through lots of lifetimes and through this lifetime to finally align with what their gifts are and be able to bring them forth. That's part of self actualization and part of Dharma for the souls that reach that stage, which are the wayshowers. And so when they reach that, their creations are like their babies. Basically, we are creating, we are birthing forth a creation through all this soul evolution that we've gone through. And although we're birthing it to share with the collective, be it to teach classes, or be it to write books, or be it to share even articles or videos, or whatever it is, those creations belong to the creator, and the creator gets to decide how they're going to share them out, or if they want to put their name on them or not put their name on them, or share them anonymously. It's up to the creator how they're going to do that. And that always needs to be honored, because it's an extension. Their creations are an extension of their soul energy. And so, not to harp on this too much, but it comes back to, copyright issues and plagiarism issues and things like that, that are laws in the human world for the reasons that we just talked about, only they're not really being explained from a soul perspective. But the same reasons that we're talking about, really, that's why they're there, is because when somebody births a thought or births a creation and Source gives it to them, and they birth it forward, it's their baby. Source gives everybody babies, or, and babies come in more forms than just physical. So Source is always blessing souls with intuition and guidance and on what to do for their own gifts and their own creation. And therefore, you do not have a right to take that from another one. And I'm guilty of that in the past also, and I'm sure everybody watching this video is. and so we're not here to shame anybody or make you feel guilty or anything else like that, but just to bring it to your awareness, for you to become mindful of that, so that in the future you don't do those things without giving them credit at least, or asking their permission, or saying anonymous if you don't know who it is, or saying unknown. I oftentimes do that when I write articles, is to put the artist unknown, because I don't know who they are. I just got it from Google, and Google doesn't always put the artist's name on there. I'm not perfect at it either, but again, this is a little bit more than just an everyday person sharing something unconsciously without really realizing who the creator is. It's more like these beings are really trying to mimic the light and harvest those ascension codes to create war within the spiritual community. And I'm talking about a silent war, sort of. It's not silent when they're combating with each other online and things, but it is a part of that war program that is part of the negative alien agenda, to hijack the spiritual beings who are leading the way. And so it's creating a delay in ascension, because of course, if there were only truly enlightened souls that are out there teaching true Christic path of ascension and everything's pure teachings, then the whole collective would be ascending a lot quicker. They're not ascending as quickly as they are because they have this false light matrix there, and the false light matrix is a total complete trap. So it's capturing the souls that are trying to go in through ascension, and it's catching them in that path that they're trying to get to, and it's holding them from being able to navigate through the Christic path. A lot of souls have asked me also to talk about the Christic path, so I'm going to try to do that in another video. But anyhow, I hope that this video helps you guys. It was a really extremely important message that I was given. And as I mentioned before, I've seen a lot of different types of aliens and ETs and demons and spirits and angels. I work with the galactics. I do starseed readings. I'm very, very, very extremely versed with the astral realms and the many, 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 many types of entities that are there. But in this case, it was made very, very clear to me that these beings are specifically targeting the lightworker community and the spiritual community. And this is only one of the ways that they're doing that. But I was asked to bring it forth to you. So that's what I've done here. I hope that this helps. And for anybody that is looking for ascension guidance, twin flame coaching, spiritual healing, any subjects that I've mentioned here, you're welcome to schedule a session with me. My website is ellenred.com. I'll put all the links in the video below. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you found it to be helpful, I would really appreciate you sharing it out to the spiritual community so that lots of others can hear the information. I hope that it helped you, and I hope that it helps everybody else too. Namaste.